Good morning, my name is Serena Tramonti and I work for Oxfam in the Northwest. Today I'm in Knutsford High School with a very special guest, Sandhya Venkateswaran from India. Sandhya, hello.
Hi Serena, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. What do you do, Sandhya, here today in Knutsford? What are you doing here today with us?
Okay. I'm from India and I basically represent a civil society coalition called Don't Break Your Promises, which basically seeks to hold the government of India accountable to the commitment that's made around health, education and livelihoods. That's what I do back home. The reason I'm here today is that Oxfam has mobilized 8 women representing national coalitions from 8 southern countries that Oxfam works in. And we made commitments towards the MDGs, specifically with respect to health and education, to be accountable to the commitments that they have made. So I'm here to speak to students of this school. We are speaking to politicians, to bureaucrats, to leaders, as well as to broader civil society to spread the message of accountability to the Millennium Development Goals.
Brilliant. And what are the promises that politicians and leaders are not keeping yet?
Well, as you know, the Millennium Development Goals are, a lot of them are way off target, especially the ones relating to health, infant mortality and maternal mortality in particular, as well as those generally relating to poverty and food security. World leaders had made commitments with respect to aid, the amount of aid that they would be giving towards achievement of Millennium Development Goals. The 8 promises have not been kept. So one large part of the agenda is to remind global leaders of their aid promises. Beyond that, we are talking about building political will to achieve the MDGs and develop mechanisms of accountability.
There's a real need, isn't there? Because you were telling me earlier that the figures when it comes, for example, to maternal mortality are huge, and so are the figures about children out of school still in 2010.
There is a huge need. There is a huge need. If we were to look at just one MDG, which is the one relating to maternal mortality, more than 500,000 women die globally on account of pregnancy and childbirth-related causes. And the bulk of these are from the global south. When we look at education, about 72 million children are out of school globally, and the large proportion of these are girls. Health and education are the building blocks of citizenship, of humanity. So while G8 and G20 and the global leaders focus on economic growth and the world's economy, they have to understand that if the building blocks are not in order, then the economy is unlikely to be able to grow.
When the promise is fulfilled and you have your lump sum almost, what will be the next step? What will be done with that?
Well, when I was describing the issues, why the situation of health and education is so bad, there are multiple reasons. One of the reasons is that infrastructure is not there. What does that mean? That means hospitals are not there, health clinics are not there, schools are not there. If schools are there, walls are not there, toilets are not there. Do you know that in India, about give or take 50% of schools do not have toilets for girls? And that's one of the big reasons why girls drop out of schools or they don't access schools. So infrastructure is a big gap. So money is needed to address infrastructure issues. The second problem is staff is not there. So when you go to a health facility, you don't find doctors, you don't find nurses, you don't find health attendants. In schools, you will not find teachers. Positions are vacant. So salaries, money is required for salaries. To put a picture on this, one of the countries that Oxfam is working with is Malawi. Malawi has a population of 14 million. Can you guess how many doctors they have in Malawi for a population of 14 million? 200. That's it. 200 doctors for 14 million people. In Canada, I believe there are more than 200, about 230 doctors for every 100,000 population. So just do the math in your mind. So that's the second area where resources would go. Another area would be basically to strengthen civil society, because as we know that it's very important once governments get resources that the resources have to be used in an appropriate manner, and that's where the role of civil society comes in, to hold governments accountable, to capacitate civil society, to strengthen them.
Past 12, sadly, worldwide, and given the high standard of It's finished really tonight and tomorrow I will go away with, and I do hope that collectively we can do something to seek to help what I regard as
I found the talk today very inspiring about what we need to do as a country and as individuals of how pressuring this matter is and how we need to contribute to the government, like we've been told today, to try and help matters across worldwide countries, and how even though we're only young and we think that we don't have a lot to say to the country, that we have a large opportunity to put our stamp on different countries and helping them.